Coronation Street star Sue Devaney has ruled out one major suspect ahead of the soap's highly anticipated Murder Mystery Week, firmly stating that Debbie Webster is not capable of killing anyone. As speculation continues to grow over which character will be killed off, fans have been closely analyzing every clue. The 5 potential victims, Carl Webster, Jodie Ramsey, Maggie Driscoll, Walsh, and Theo Silverton, have all made enemies in Weatherfield, leaving plenty of possible suspects in the frame. However, Sue Devaney has made it clear that Debbie should not be considered among them, even despite the intense and complicated situation involving her secret son, Carl. In an exclusive interview, the actress explained that while Debbie can be sharp-tongued and emotionally intense, she doesn't have it in her to take someone's life. She jokingly added that, at most, Debbie might accidentally cause harm in an absurd situation, but deliberately committing murder is completely out of character for her. Sue went on to describe Debbie as someone who would rather use her words to tear someone down than resort to physical violence, emphasizing that her strength lies in her sharp wit rather than any dangerous intent. When asked how Debbie might react if someone close to her, such as Kevin or Ronnie, were responsible for Carl's death, Sue suggested the fallout would be severe. Debbie would likely feel deeply betrayed and could cut ties with them entirely, unable to forgive such an act. At the same time, she acknowledged that extreme situations can push people to unexpected limits, and that accidents are always a possibility. She even speculated that Debbie might respond differently if Carl's death were truly accidental, potentially showing understanding depending on the circumstances. Although Debbie is not being positioned as a killer, her relationship with Carl remains highly strained. Recently, she reached her breaking point and decided to pay him to leave Weatherfield, hoping to restore some peace to her life after the turmoil he has caused. According to Sue, Debbie's decision came from a place of emotional exhaustion, as Carl's behavior has not only hurt her but also affected those around her. She ultimately concluded that cutting him out was the only way to protect herself from further pain, lies, and betrayal. Despite all the tension, Sue admitted she would personally love to see Carl remain in the storyline, as Debbie still has a deep emotional connection to him beneath everything that has happened. She even revealed that within the story, Debbie has expressed a wish for Carl to carry her coffin one day, highlighting the complicated bond between them and suggesting that, despite everything, she still wants him to be part of her life. With emotions running high, relationships fracturing, and secrets threatening to explode, the mystery surrounding the upcoming episodes remains tightly under wraps, leaving viewers to wonder who will ultimately become the victim and how the truth will unfold. Viewers of Coronation Street believe they may have identified the upcoming murder victim after noticing what they think is a telling clue hidden within the latest episode. Fans of the long-running ITV soap are convinced they have figured out who will be killed after spotting what appears to be a significant hint during recent scenes. Earlier in the year, the popular drama revealed that 5 different characters would be placed in serious danger, with one of them ultimately set to be murdered. It has since been confirmed that Carl Webster, Walsh, Theo Silverton, Maggie Driscoll, and Jodie Ramsey are all among those at risk of being killed off. However, many viewers are now speculating that Maggie Driscoll, portrayed by actress Pauline McLynn, is the character most likely to meet a tragic end. After noticing that all 4 of the other potential victims appeared in the latest episode while Maggie was completely absent, one fan shared their theory on Reddit. They wrote, "There was a very noticeable absence of Maggie in today's episode, which felt quite suspicious." They continued, "Every other possible victim had some kind of moment in tonight's episode. Carl received what felt like a final payout before being sent away, clearly bitter and resentful. Jodie was acting paranoid, convinced that Liv's dad was coming after her, while Theo was sneaking around Todd's flat, practically doing Jackie Chan-style moves to avoid being seen. Megan, at the very least, was mentioned by Eva, Leanne, and Toya during the episode." The fan added, but Maggie wasn't mentioned at all. Even in the lead-up to this episode, it hasn't really seemed like she's been placed in any kind of danger or trouble. Maybe the writers are deliberately keeping her under the radar so that it comes as a complete shock when she is revealed to be the victim. Another viewer agreed with this idea and responded, "I actually had the same thought. Whenever Coronation Street brings in a well-known actor, and Pauline McLynn definitely qualifies because of Father Ted, they rarely stay for very long." They went on to explain, "Actors who are already familiar to British audiences often join Corrie as something of a career milestone. They tend to stay briefly, make an impact, and then move on. Just look at Sue Johnston. She was only there for about a year. The same goes for Stephanie Cole. They usually don't remain in the show long term, but they stay just long enough to leave a lasting impression." A third fan added their own opinion, saying, "Part of me really hopes it isn't Maggie, because she's such an entertaining character and brings a lot of humor. I feel like there's still more the writers could explore with her storyline right now." However, not everyone agreed with that theory, as another viewer shared a completely different perspective. They suggested, "I actually don't think Maggie will end up being killed at all." They continued with a more complex prediction. "Instead, I think she could end up being framed. My theory is that Megan might actually be the one who gets murdered. And here's the twist. I think Sam could be the one responsible for killing Megan and then framing Maggie for the crime." They added further speculation. "At the same time, I also have a feeling that Jodie could be the victim instead. In that scenario, Maggie might accidentally discover Jodie's body and, without realizing it, get blood on her hands. That could be the moment when Betsy arrives, sees Maggie covered in blood, and screams in shock." They elaborated. "Maggie might then try to explain what really happened, but before she gets the chance, Lauren could show up as well and panic upon seeing the scene. Both of them might back away from Maggie, not believing her explanation, and leave her alone while she's still trying to make sense of everything. Then, shortly afterwards, the police could arrive and arrest Maggie on suspicion of Jodie's murder." It was also revealed earlier this week that the ITV soap is preparing to air a major murder week, beginning on Monday, with each of the 5 potential victims receiving their own dedicated episode. In one of these dramatic storylines, a pedophile and a killer are set to confront each other in a violent showdown that could result in one, or possibly both of them, losing their lives. Viewers already know that PE teacher Megan Walsh, played by actress Beth Nixon, has been grooming and abusing teenager Will Driscoll even before their arrival on the street.